Yeah, Hollywood 931. Spot rack. That's not Larry O. That wasn't Preston Smith's friend at all. Because those show you how much you save by moving on from those dudes. And yeah. When those numbers be numbering, it's hard to say no. How do you say no when them numbers is doing that, man? So you already know the drill, man. Let's see. Who else we got in the building? No, Pixel Bros. Shout out to the homie Pixel Bros. He says, will Omar Khan outdo himself this offseason? Are we hoping for big things? Or will Steelers try to run it back? Thoughts? Well, first off, they're for certain not trying to just simply run it back. They've cleared up $50 million or $50+ million in cap space. That ain't just simply run it back type of money, because we don't have anybody that we'll be paying to that extent. Unless you're about to pay Najee, was it $15 million per year? You're not about to do that. And I don't see where you paying Russ crazy like that either, based off of the season. So you're not about to break Fields off like that. I don't know, man. I feel like they about to do something, man. I personally see them doing something at receiver, though. I think that makes the most sense, in the sense of it doesn't matter which direction you're going to go at quarterback. You're going to need another just talented wide receiver, a dude that can make plays. I mean, obviously we know we got in GP, but there's still some questions about GP long-term commitment, or the Steelers' long-term commitment to him. We know this is a contract year for him. I don't anticipate them breaking him off right now, nor do I anticipate, GP wanting to sign anything long-term right now, because those numbers are going to be shorter rather than, the robust deal that he thinks he should be getting. So with that, it's like, yeah, you are going to want to bring in something that either gives you confidence that if he doesn't, or if he leaves, or if we can't work this out, everything is fine, or hey, man, now I got this two-headed monster out there. So that's the part for me that I could kind of see, man. I don't know if we're going to do the quarterback thing just yet, man. I mean, it's like you see some of the rumors, man. Obviously, we talked about Trevor Lawrence last week, man, and how everybody might or may not feel about him. Brought up Matthew Stafford at times this offseason. Aaron Rodgers is a name that keeps coming up and came back up, obviously, because the Jets officially said, I think this was Friday also, that they are going to go ahead and release him. And yeah, with that being the case, they're going to eat the dead cap. So now you're not having to trade for him. Now you're just simply doing the negotiation. Let's try to get the deal done, and praying that it's the Russ situation where he's going to take a certain number to make sure that the Jets have to keep paying what they're paying, and ultimately help out whatever team he's going to go to. So when you throw that in there, that's a little bit of a game changer. That's the outlier factor that got Russ here to Pittsburgh, because you're like, hey, I don't want Russ for 40, but if I'm getting Russ for $1 million, that's different. When you start looking at the potential dead cap of what the Jets are going to be on the hook for, that could weigh a lot more into Aaron Rodgers' decision on how much he would take if he were to join your roster or not. Changes a lot. That changes a lot, man. We could talk about the Justin Fields of the world, the first round or second round quarterbacks of the world, but no different when we talked about Russell Wilson for $1 million. It's like, if you're getting Rodgers on a just crazily outlandish deal, it's hard to sell these other question mark guys over a guy like that when the price does make sense. But that's the thing, like I said, man, we will see with him, man, because obviously he is older, and yeah, it was this last year for him, man, but obviously that was the first year back from the Achilles, and that's the part that you have to factor in when you're talking about Rodgers. But he is a lot when you're just talking about what he brings from a personality standpoint and, just dealing with him, man. So we will see, though, man. We will see. Shout out to Pixel Bros, though. Let's see. Dondre Ezell. Shout out to Dondre Ezell. He said, he says, if we get Deebo Samuel, would that make Najee more appealing for the Steelers at his price? Paired with Justin Fields, this can be a dynamic backfield. All right. So if we get Deebo Samuel, would that make Najee more appealing for the Steelers at his price? I could see it, but at the same time, I could see where that would make us really run heavy. Yeah, because we're talking about Deebo Samuel, who we're not saying is the most prolific down the grass type receiver. This is one of those, man, get him the ball early by the line of scrimmage, might hand it off to him, man. Some of the jet sweep stuff, screen game, that type of routes. So when you're pairing that with the Najee Harris, who is not a fleet-footed back, that's the thumper, and you put him with Justin Fields, who right now still isn't viewed league-wide as a high-level passer. He's a high-level runner. I just think that you're going to get real run heavy. Now, it does have some Baltimore to you. When you look at what the Ravens been able to do with Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry and company, obviously we know they're also a very run heavy approach, but it works. Why? Because Lamar has developed as a passer. And I think that that's the critical part. It works because Lamar's passing ability. If you don't have that passing ability with it, though, now you're looking at a very heavy-handed, heavy run-oriented approach. And defensively, the way that you're going to play that is you're going to make Justin Fields have to beat you with his arms. It's no different than what the Chiefs played, or how the Chiefs and how we played the Eagles this year. Load up the box. You're not going to be able to run this football. Your quarterback has to win with his arm. And for some of these guys, they can do that. In terms of Jalen Hurts, right? In terms of Lamar Jackson, we obviously seen with Josh Allen, but that's the question mark in terms of Justin Fields. Can he also win with his arm like that? Because to me, I just don't see enough spacing, man. When you're talking Debo and Najee, I just think that that's like, we still heavy on that run versus being able to kind of space it out a little bit. Now, my issue is this too. I'm almost to the sense that if we were going to go Debo and Fields, I'd rather take Najee out and get me something speedier off the draft, man. Caleb Johnson type, Dylan Sampson type. Give me some speed, man. Like, I think I'd rather go with that approach just to kind of space that thing out, man. Because right now, like I said, with the way that we talking right there, I'm like, man, that's big bodies on big bodies, man. Or not big bodies, but it's like, it's more of just, like I said, as a defender, man, you're thinking, man, the run is what they're going to want to try to do. So as long as we can smash that part, man, we feel very confident, or we're willing to take our chances with Fields having to beat us with his arm, man. But, I like that approach, though, man. So, shout out to you on that one right there, man. All righty. Let's get this next super. Oh, and shoot. It wasn't a super. It was from the homie Demeds56. Just joined the upper room. So Demeds56, welcome to the upper room. Yes, indeed. But yeah, if we feel like Justin Fields, man, this obviously where we're all going to have different levels of belief in his ability to develop as a passer. But all like that model, man, with Justin Fields works as long as he develops, as long as he can be Jalen Hurts, as long as he can develop into the Lamar Jackson type, the guys that can do it genuinely with their arms, not as well, but dang near as well as what they do with their legs, man. When it gets to that point, yeah, now you got it exactly what you want. But if you don't, you just become really limited, man. And it becomes a super one-dimensional type of offense that does have moments of excitement. But as a whole, man, if you're not in the lead, it's just tough to operate with consistently. And it's tough to operate with in terms of trying to come back in some of these games. And that's what we obviously have seen with the Ravens up until, more recently when Lamar really started to step it up as a passer. The knock on them was, man, if they start trailing, it's a wrap, because that type of offense, that type of approach is too slow. It can't, keep those type of, it can't get the explosive scores off of it. But now you start seeing Lamar being able to throw that football, and now everything is opened up, man. So Fields, he has all them characteristics. He has all them little traits, and that's the exciting part about him. That's why I'm glad we got him here. But that's also the part that makes me a little bit nervous about him, because more times than not, those guys don't develop. More times than not, you're going to point to the quarterbacks that look just like this, have those same traits, and they didn't make it. So that's what we kind of going back and forth on as it pertains to Justin Fields. And obviously we'll see what this money is looking like as well with him, because he ain't doing it for free, man. All right, so we got to figure out how we get that number to work for all parties involved, man. But you already know the drill. Don't forget to hit that like button one time for the culture and subscribe if you are new to the channel.